plans for a minerals deal are being finalised. It seems as though Volodymyr Zelensky will be at the White House on Friday. He may well be there to sign them. All strong rumours, according to a variety of anonymous sources. Donald Trump saying the deal would mean Ukraine has the right to fight on. 3 senior Ukrainian officials saying the framework has been agreed with the hope that that will ensure the continued flow of US military support to Ukraine.
I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. It could be $1 trillion deal, it could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things. And look, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine and Russia fighting a war that should have never, ever happened. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president.
Donald Trump there. Well, let's cross to Kyiv to our correspondent Emmanuel Shaz, who joins us from there. Emmanuel, it does appear now then that a weapons deal is very much on the cards, possibly even signed by Zelensky at the White House this week.
Yes, this deal on Ukraine's natural resources seems to have been agreed upon by the two parties, by Washington and Kyiv. What we do not know exactly is what it contains. We do know that there are some conditions that Washington had first brought on the table that were taken off the table. I'm thinking about this request from the U.S. to get $500 billion worth of Ukraine's natural resources, basically without counterpart. That has been taken off the table. There was also a request by the U.S. that for every U.S. dollar invested in a fund, for an investment fund in Ukraine, well, Ukraine would have to repay double. This has also been taken off the table. What doesn't also seem to appear in that agreement are the security guarantees that Kyiv wanted in exchange for the exploitation of its natural resources. So in that, Donald Trump seems to have gotten what he wanted, a financial deal that would see U.S. aid, U.S. support continue to Ukraine in exchange for the exploitation of its natural resources, and the creation of an investment fund said to be for the reconstruction of Ukraine, and all the benefits, all the revenues for the exploitation of Ukraine's natural resources. 50% apparently of those benefits would go into that investment fund, and once a year, the revenues of that fund would be reinvested, reinjected into Ukraine's economy. So in exchange for the U.S. to exploit some of Ukraine's natural resources. This comprises rare earth materials, but also oil and gas, at the exception of those exploited by Ukronafta and Naftogaz, the state companies, the biggest companies here. So it's pretty much a deal that is favorable to Washington, but also it's not as favorable as what Ukraine had feared. However, of course, this is a win for Donald Trump, who also doesn't exclude concluding a similar deal with Moscow.
Looking at the bigger picture, though, Emmanuel, I mean, it does seem like a bit of a switch around, doesn't it, from the US? It does seem now that the US could now be envisaging more ongoing support for Ukraine.
Absolutely, and quite pragmatically seen, if Donald Trump has interests as he sees them, meaning economic interests to defend, of course we could see him continuing supporting Ukraine, so he would defend his own interests. This is not about defending Ukraine as a free and sovereign and independent state. It would be about defending his economic interests. And he also hinted at more support for Ukraine when he said that military equipment would keep coming for now, at least until an agreement is reached with Russia to stop the war. So Kyiv had two things it wanted an answer on. On the continuous U.S. military support to Ukraine, and also on security guarantees. Apparently, those security guarantees won't come with this deal, but military equipment will, for now, continue coming.